Mission Control, your project management command center, and this is a solution demonstration by yours truly. I'll try to do like a good segue. Yours truly, like Mendoza. So what we're gonna go ahead and do throughout this webinar, we're gonna just go through Mission Control in a very basic use case. Let me not get too ahead of myself, but I'll kind of explain it more as we go on, right? So my name is Ike Mendoza. That's me. If it doesn't look like me, I understand. That was like 4 years ago. My hair was low, but I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for quite some time now. So some years, man, a good bit of years. The reason I say that is because Mission Control is that PSA project management tool living natively on the Salesforce platform. So if you understand Salesforce and you feeling confident in Salesforce, hey, Mission Control is gonna make a lot of sense to you. And no worries, if you're kind of like, Salesforce is not my thing. We have so much learning material. We have so much training material. We have so much guidance to provide you that I wouldn't even worry about that. And also Salesforce on their end, because they're such a big company, they have a lot of trainings to provide as well. So we can get you up to date, up to speed real quickly. Just stay down and then come up with us, right? So that's my little intro. We're gonna do Mission Control history, licensing, demo, and then we're gonna move on to the stuff of how we support you, right? So a little bit about Mission Control. Mission Control started way back when, over a decade ago, with our CEO, Chris Johnson, and his co-partner, Chris. I like to call him Chris because Chris just sounds cool. I can say his last name, but Chris just sounds cool. I don't know. But yeah, they were SI partners. They realized that they needed something in-house to really help with the business they were getting and kind of manage the projects a lot better. But then once they saw the breadth of this tool, they realized, hey, we can expand upon it, we can build on it, and we can give it out to the general public. And that's exactly what they did. So starting off in 2012, a little bit more in-house, moving out to the wider audience, to the world, right? Over 25 countries and over 12,000 total users, 500,000 projects, and 8 million time logs we are servicing worldwide. And one thing that's not noted here is that our customer support is very keen on making sure they're supporting you in a fashion that makes sense and is improving your business. So if you look on our App Exchange website, not our App Exchange, but look at App Exchange and look at our listing, we're rated around 4.8, 4.9 stars now. And hey, they do a great job. They do a great job. So if at any point you have a support ticket or need some help, contact support. I know I do. So hey, I got them on speed dial. If anything happens, boom, I'm calling them or chatting them. I don't call. So licensing, how that works for us. So again, I mentioned that Mission Control is built on the Salesforce platform natively, and these are the licenses we support from Professional Edition all the way down to Chatter Plus, Force.com, Experience Cloud, Self-Service, Partner, External Apps, all those good stuff. So that this is what's supported. So you can quickly check what you're on right now within Salesforce. If you go into the setup and then look at company information, type of company information in the setup box, you'll see what version of Salesforce is provided or that you have installed currently. And of course, we leverage the things and the configurations within that whatever license that you have. So the better the license, the better. Yeah, just the better. I mean, nothing more to say there. So, like I mentioned, we're native on Salesforce. And what does that really mean? So when we talk about two main things, customization and benefits. So in terms of customization, we're talking about custom fields, page layouts, and business logic, whether it be any validation rules, workflow rules, or just flows and process builders and things of that nature. So when we think of automation and customization, that is a big proponent and a big leverage spot for us being built on Salesforce because you can just automate and you can customize. That looks beautiful and it works beautifully in harmony, in synchronization. So for benefits, we have, whatever Salesforce does, we're adding on it to make it even better, right? So reports and dashboards, with Salesforce, you can create whatever data you put into Salesforce, you can pull the data from it and create a report and dashboard. Because Mission Control is pushing project management PSA information and data within Salesforce, you can now have an extra layer of customizability and reports when it comes down to what you need to see from a project management space, right? We're also accessible via the Salesforce mobile app. So if you have some folks going on the field and they need to see what actions they need to have for the day, some time logs that they want to log, or just get an idea of what's going on within the project, they can pull out their phone, beep, boop, pop. I'm sorry I did that. That was kind of lame. I'm sorry I did that. But they can do that. And get an update of the project and lock some time and mark action that's complete on the road. No integration required. You can install and set up in minutes. Familiar user interface whenever we talk about Salesforce Classic and Lightning Experience. We work on both. So when we say install and set up in minutes, we do have some articles, some quick setup guides, implementation guides, and things of that nature to get you started and get you going how you want to. So for this demonstration, we're going to focus on a couple of things. 2 people. Ike Mendoza, that's me, the project manager. I'm looking specifically and individually at one singular project. One single project, and from that workflow, we're going to create a project. And there's something to note within Mission Control. There is a lot that Mission Control can accomplish. So whether you're a five-person company or you're thousands of people, we can cover those bases because we scale with you and we're able to provide such a breadth of information and everything within the tool. But one thing that I will say, let us meet you where you're at. All right. So there's some things within Mission Control that you're like, oh, that's a lot. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. That's fine. Because we're built on Salesforce and because we're Mission Control, we're completely customizable. So some things that I'm showing, if you don't want to see it, turn it off. Just turn it off, right? The reason I'm saying this is because within this workflow that we're going through, whether creating a project, there's multiple ways to create a project. There's multiple ways to view a project, and there's multiple ways to complete an action. I'll be going down a more singular path, but just know that one, if that doesn't resonate with you the way I'm doing it currently, there's more likely like a 90% chance that you can do it a different way. So, but for simplicity of this webinar, I'm going to try to keep it as minimal as possible here. But I'm going to have some things turned on just in case you kind of like, oh, that looks nice. He's not going to show it, but I know that you can do that, right? So, anyways, all that to say, multiple different ways to do one thing within Mission Control, whether it's create a project, viewing a project, completing an action. You can log time from many different places. Also, whenever we talk about communicating and collaborating with team members, that can be done within notifications of chatter, but also if you want to integrate something that we saw or we should have saw within the benefits of being native to Salesforce, right off the bat, if it can integrate with Salesforce, it can integrate with Mission Control. Why? Because Mission Control is native to Salesforce. Cool. So we're going to communicate with team members. We're going to see a project timeline via the Gantt chart. And then after all of that, from the project perspective, that individual project, I'm going to generate an invoice real quick and shoot it out because I need to get paid. And then we have Alana Blancard, part of our managerial team. What she's going to do is she's going to view multiple projects via the standalone Gantt chart. Again, she can do view multiple projects in many different ways, but we're going to focus on just the Gantt chart because that seems to resonate with most individuals. And then she's going to do a little bit of resourcing. She's going to see the team's workload via what we call the scheduler. And then, of course, we're going to visualize team data with reports and dashboards because you cannot leave work until you understand how much work has been completed and how much progress has been made, right? So Alana's going to be on top of that at all times. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump. Well, let me see what, yeah. We're going to jump into this demonstration. Please, 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 if you have any questions or you have a concern or you just want to say hey to me, don't waste my time. No, just kidding. Just go ahead and put it in the Q&A and I'll go ahead and try to call it out, read out the question, and then give you the answer live. All right, cool. So what you guys should be seeing now is my wonderful Mission Control console. Let me see what's showing. All right. Yep, we should be good there. So right away, what we're seeing now is what we call the Mission Control console. So well, let me see if I got the article. Right here, it's Salesforce. Quite frankly, this is Salesforce, but what we're doing is we're adding a layer of, again, project management information to the forefront. So this whole database that you're seeing, this whole platform is Salesforce. We're just an app on the App Exchange store. So, you know, just make sure you're familiar. Whenever you hop into Salesforce, you have the Service Cloud, Service App, Sales App, and then you can just download apps from the App Exchange, and we are one of those called Mission Control. So you saw sales, you saw service, you can think of us as project management PSA, right? Cool. So I'm real quickly going to go over what this layout and these 4 pads, and then we're going to move into our use case, all right? So first and foremost, we have our launch pad. So anything new, anything that we're launching, like a new project, a new role, a new team, maybe even a new skill, anything new is coming from this launch pad. And we're going to talk about this clone project piece in just a second once I get back to it. So the progress pad is anything that's currently in progress. Do you have a project or some work in progress? You want to see the progress that's been made on it, or try to understand what's been going on? We can leverage the whiteboard, even maybe see the progress within timesheets, or even log expenses against things that are, again, in progress. So if you took a shot every time I said the progress, then God bless your soul. Then we have our third pad, our management pad, right? So our management pad is going to be more so for individuals that are not like team members, but more so for like folks like me. I can be the OC project manager, or Alana Blancart in the managerial team. I just want to get a high-level overview, a bird's eye view of what's going on with any projects, program, as well as resource planners and things of that nature. So we have Vincent Miles that says, can you share a project with external partners who do not use Salesforce? Man, Vince, you just want to get into the meat, man. Like, can we get some appetizers going? To answer that question, yeah, yes, you can. There's many different ways to do so, and we'll touch on them in a second, actually. So, can you share a project with external partners who do not use Salesforce? When we look into Control Pad, this is how we are able to handle this in one way. There's many ways to handle it, but one way is the Control Pad here. So what we're seeing in the Control Pad, this is essentially, again, more for the admin team, maybe even the managers, to unlock a little bit more settings within Mission Control and this instance here. So what we're seeing is just random settings that we can unlock, and then we can customize a little bit more. So Vincent, but to answer your question, there's two free ways that I'm showing right here is our daily digest. So if you want to share a project with external partners who do not use Salesforce, you can utilize a daily digest. What you'll need to do is put their contact within Mission Control or within Salesforce and Mission Control, and that way we know what email address to send this information to and who we can connect that contact to within the project, and we'll spit out a daily digest. I have a daily digest up right here. Essentially, what this is basically saying, hey, you're part of this project, and these are the actions that you have for this project, and it sends daily. My CEO sends me a daily digest every day, every morning. It's a great way to start the day. Yeah. You see what action you have, and then how many hours are remaining, and things of that nature. So this is one way to share some information around the project free, just as a contact within Salesforce. But also you can leverage, and what you might like a little more, Vincent, is our project status report. So you can have a weekly status report run at a specific time, a specific day, and it's going to give you a better visual of what's going on with the project, the task completion percentages, any time logs, risk and issues, things of that nature, whatever you want to put in that project status report, not whatever, but basically whatever you want to put in that project status report, you can send it out to those external partners. And these are some free options if they don't have licenses. All right. So let's go ahead and go into our workflow. So I said I was going to come back here just briefly to showcase something that I feel like is very, very important. Within Mission Control, you can have what's called project templates, right? So if you have common milestones and tasks that is associated with, maybe you have an implementation package. So once you have implementation package, you know, we're going to do these steps every time for this kind of project. This is when you'll create a template and essentially clone a project. So what we're seeing here are all templates. The reason I want to spend time on this is because it's important to note that we can leverage templates on creating a project live, like just cloning a project and starting a project. But for this talk track, we're going to look at utilizing a template to auto-generate a project from the opportunity. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll click on this template, our template website build, right? And then we can clone that project. Okay. I won't clone it yet. Just know that we can create a template website build, and we're going to dive into what the template looks like, and we can clone a project from here. That way, whenever you want to create a project like implementation project, you can leverage a template without having to create a new project live, right? So let's go ahead and dive into an opportunity, and we'll dive into that template as well here. So there's something to note. I already have a project connected to this opportunity. This is our demo project that we will be working through because it has more data inside of it. But what I'm showing you right here is pay attention to how I've named this opportunity. I put asterisks so that we were able to tell that it's been generated based off of a template. Okay. So within Mission Control, I know you might cover this. What is the main differences between Mission Control and Jira, excluding your product being native, Salesforce native? You know what, Vincent, I like that question. So we can actually see how it's different while through this talk chat. If at any point you want some clarification and you want some, more details, please ask again. But through this what we're showing and walk through, I believe you'll be able to tell the difference, no problem here. All right. So this is an opportunity, right? So within our opportunity, we have a lot of things we can do, again, because we're built natively on Salesforce. If we ever want to add custom fields on this page, and what that means is I've added this customer needs field and I've added a customer rating field. This didn't naturally live in the opportunity, but I've created that custom field. Because we're living on top of Salesforce, we're adding that customization effect, and we're able to be, pull some more information and attach it to an opportunity page or attach it whatever we want to. So with that being said, I've attached and added some fields here on the opportunity level. Again, what we're looking at is auto-generating a project from an opportunity. This project is already connected, but I'm going to be looking at this new project with the asterisk, and the amount is $0, and this will be generated once I hit the close one status. So if we're at opportunity and we're like, all right, I know this opportunity is a website build opportunity. Luckily for me, I have a template based on a website build. So let me go ahead and open this up. And again, whenever we're auto-generating a project from an opportunity, we're looking at the template that's been defined. This is the template that we have defined for the website build. We can see that I have our design, build, and deliver milestones, and design wireframes, design UI, etc. These are the milestones and tasks that's going to be pulled over once I auto-generate the opportunity based on this website build template. All right. So I'll go ahead and exit out of this. So again, opportunity, 0 amount, just so that the amount is $0, so that we know that this is the project I'll be generating. And then I'll say the start date is, let's make it the 29th. Cool. So once I've vetted it out, and now that I see it's on negotiation review status, I'll go ahead and say I want to generate a project based off this website build template, and then I'll hit save. All right. So what's being done here is I've manually had selected, I want to generate a project based off this website build template. And once it hits close one status, it's going to generate this project. That's one way to do it. The second way to do it is just have it automated. Have it automated to where whenever an opportunity hits close one status, it's going to generate a project request. Okay. I've gone through the steps a little bit more manually, so that way you understand what's going on, but you can quite literally have it automated to where whenever it hits close one status, it's going to generate a project. All right. And right away, you see that it generated our project from here. Again, I put asterisk so that way we see that it's been generated live, and we can see the amount of $0 again, because I wanted you to know that this was the demo one that we kind of fake made, right? So whenever I click on it, and I'll do open link in new tab. Whenever I click on it, that template that we saw earlier, which is a template website build, that information has been copied over now to this specific webinar website build opportunity that we had. It's now changed the name from template website build to Mission Control webinar website build to match the name of the opportunity. And like we saw earlier, we have those actions copied over. All right. And as you can see, you probably see the project owner and milestone owners are currently as the placeholders. This is a best practice because maybe we didn't know what individuals are available, but once we do know, we can assign the work to them as we need to. All right. If there's any questions, please let me know in the chat. I'll go ahead and exit out of that. All right. Also, something to note, I won't spend too much time on it, but if you want to see what resources are available to you from the project management side, so this is the sales side, vetting out an opportunity, but if you want to take a peek and kind of collaborate with the project management side, you can use our role forecasting option here that says, all right, for this opportunity, I know I'm going to need Kelly Slater and Gabriel Medina. I want to make sure they are available to work this project. And once we see that they are available to work said project for the day specified, we can go ahead and create this opportunity and make it a project in confidence, knowing that we have project management team members available to work this opportunity that became a project. This little tidbit. I'm throwing a lot at you. If you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We'll meet you where you're at. You don't need to worry about forward forecasting if you don't want to, but I just want to let you know that's available. So if the sales side wants to take a peek at the project management side to understand the availability before they create a project, they absolutely can. All right. So we are currently looking at our project here. So this is a mission control webinar website build project. And this one is more vetted out than the one that we just created. Again, demonstration purposes. So I want to go ahead. Man, hey, Vincent, if I had some stars to give out, man, you'd have 2 stars by now. I love how interactive you are. So Vincent Miles says you might be coming to it, but what does the pricing structure look like? Is it based on a user license? So I will be coming to it to the end of the demonstration, but I'll go ahead and speak on it now. Yes, it is a user license. We bill annually, or not annually, bill per user, either monthly or annually. So I would say it's $39 per user per month, billed annually. That's the list price for annual. Monthly is a little bit more expensive. It's $39. It's $49 per user per month if you bill monthly. So I'll highly suggest pay annually, $39 per user per month, billed annually, and you get everything that I'm showing. You get absolutely everything. There's no tiers to this. It's just you get everything all at once. It's your duty to turn off what you don't want to see. Anyways, Vince, you get me sidetracked. So once we hop into the mission control webinar or website build project, what we have here is our insights tab. If you don't like this tab, turn it off. If you don't want it, turn it off. If you don't like these charts, turn it off. But essentially what this is showcasing for me, the project manager, is give me an idea of how my project is going while it's going, right? So I can see that we have only 1 completed action, which is not that great, but no overdue actions, which is nice. But also I'm seeing that we have 2 risks and 2 issues. That's something that I want to vet out a little bit later as a project manager. So I'm definitely going to spend some time there and looking at what's going on. And right here, we have some analysis about how we're performing against cost and how we're performing against schedule. We can see that we're doing well against schedule, but we're not doing well against our cost and budget. So that's unfortunate. Again, if you don't like these tabs and some of these graphics don't mesh with you, simply turn it off. That's my answer to everything. If you say, hey, how do you do this? Turn it off. Or how do you add it? Add it. Turn off or add. That's how simple it is. I know some customers say, oh, this is a lot of information all at once. And I get it. If you're not used to the system, I absolutely understand. That's why I say turn it off, right? Cool. So before I dive into our project plan, I want to go ahead and look at the settings behind this project, right? Like mission control, like I said earlier regarding opportunity, if you want to add custom fields, even on the project details and project information, you absolutely can. From the venue name, venue address, venue room, meetup location, these fields are all custom fields. I added it. They didn't come out of the box. I just added it from the settings, from setup. And if you're familiar with Salesforce, you're aware that you can add custom fields to a lot of different pages and add custom objects as well, things of that nature, so you can customize things a lot better for your specific business. So right here, I have Ike Mendoza as a project owner, which is great. When we talk about billing types, we have many different billing types, whether it be fixed price, expenses, time, and materials, and we have a plethora of others. Our billing rate can be either standard, role-based, skill-based, or rate card. And rate card is that individualized. If it's like, oh, I want this to be individual for this specific project, you create a rate card, and that's going to bill at a different rate. All right, and over time, of course, cost rate and billing rate is going to be the same thing. We can add colors to the project just for organization's sake. And of course, if you want to have our role manager or project owner approve time, we can. But for this specific project, I'm not choosing to do that. But if you want timesheets to be approved or go through the approval process, you absolutely can. Purchase order information, tax labels if you need to. Billing cycles, whether it be manual, milestone, periodic, or retainer. Currently, this is on milestones. So whenever I complete a milestone, it's going to shoot out an invoice for that completed percentage of work. And we're going to see that a little bit later. Different billing frequencies, either weekly, fortnightly, and all the other good stuff here. I like the word fortnightly. It makes me feel a lot, makes me feel like I'm back in medieval times for some reason. Payment terms, 7 all the way to 90. And of course, you're going to add expenses and all that good stuff here. All right. If there's any expenses or material cost information that you want to attach to the project, you absolutely can. And right here is where we're going to generate our status reports and stuff. So we can generate a weekly status report. Now say the start date is going to be the 21st. End date, I'm gonna leave that alone. And of course, we can have a hero image. All right. Oof. And at the very bottom here, this is how we define what we want a template to be. I'm gonna open this, what we call a client read-only page. Open link in a new tab. And as I go through this system, you understand the benefits to the client read-only page and how that might be able to be even a better solution for you rather than the daily digest and the Gantt chart that I spoke on, or not Gantt chart, the project status report that I spoke on. So Vincent, you asked earlier, your first question, can you share a project with external partners who do not use Salesforce? So this is another way to leverage those external partners, although this isn't absolutely free, like Daily Digest and the product status report. What this is, though, is you can have, let's say you have, I don't know, 70 partners, right? What you can do is buy one license, one client read-only license, let's say that, and then those 70 partners can share that one license. And whoever, depending on the partner it is, whenever they click on the link, it's going to be their project that's being seen, right? So 70 partners can share one license, so that way they get real-time read-only view pertaining to their specific project. I hope that makes sense. And as you can see, this gives you a little bit more information than the daily digest, and it's more real-time than the project status report. So we can see the project, the milestone, as well as the actions and things of that nature. We can see the completion percentage, start and end dates and all that good stuff. And of course, some financials if you would like that to be shown. But also they're able to leverage and see not only the overview of the project plan, right? But they're able to see the Gantt chart, the Kanban, which is a whiteboard, as well as time logs and risk and issues, should you want them to see those things. So whenever we talk about delivering information to someone that may not have Salesforce license, but you want them to be shared amongst, you want them to get some really good information, this is what we do to accomplish that was the client read-only page. And this is going to load in, yep. Time logs, if you want that shown, and of course, risk and issues on their specific project as well. Something that's very important to note, if you do like the client read-only page and it really resonates with you because it's delivering a lot of information in a very practical way and in real time, you will need to be on the Salesforce, oh my gosh, Enterprise Edition. I just lost the word. Enterprise Edition. So you need to be on Salesforce Enterprise Edition to leverage the client read-only page due to some limitations that Salesforce provides on that edition, any lower editions besides Enterprise Edition. So again, this is Salesforce kind of roadblock, but if you like the client read-only page, you have to be on Salesforce Enterprise. Okay, cool. Oh, someone just dropped off. They're probably saying, like, you're talking too much. You're not showing up for the project. I completely understand. Let's go ahead and do it. So like I mentioned earlier, we saw that we can build off of milestone completions, right? So right here in our billing tab, this is where all the invoices will be shown. We have no invoices because we have yet to complete a milestone. So let's say, all right, we have our design milestone by Ike Mendoza. All right, the first wireframe is complete, 100% completion. But then we have one more action that has to be completed, and that is our design UI with 89% completion. The way I understand as a project manager that these design wireframes is actually complete, I've created checklist items. So whenever they check off some information, and just to let you know, the structure goes from the very top level. I'm getting from the top. It goes from phases. No, I'm sorry. It goes from portfolio to programs. So you can have multiple programs roll up to phases, right? Or roll up to portfolio. So portfolio, programs, then projects. We have an optional layer in between called phases that groups multiple milestones together. So milestones can roll up to phases. And then from milestones, we go down to actions. And from actions, we go to checklist items, right? So let's put that in reverse. You can have multiple checklist items go to an action. Multiple actions go into a milestone. Multiple milestones go into phases. Multiple phases can run into a project. Multiple projects go into a program. And multiple programs go into a portfolio. We have a 7-layer structure. And if that is not enough for you, I think that you're doing too much in your organization. Quite frankly. Someone asked me before, can we go a little bit lower than checklist items? And I quite literally said, why would you want to do that? To be frank, but to be honest, if we're going lower than checklist items, maybe we have too many redundancies that we can kind of clean up. Let's be honest, right? I can be honest with you guys because you can't be honest back to me. So We have our milestones, actions, and then checklist items underneath it, which is great. So that way we understand you need to do these 3 checklist items before we can mark this action as complete. But then when we look at design UI, we can see that Elaine has a little bit more to do before she marks this as complete. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and log time for Elaine. So this is one place for us to log time right off the bat, right? So it's right across from the action, and then it's going to pull in the action, and I'll say I'm Elaine Beachley right here. And then I can say, all right, action, checklist items, cool, hours completed. I completed 3 more hours. And now instead of being on progress or in progress, I can complete it and I can log time right away. Something that you're seeing right now is we can have a long time component. So log it after the fact, or we can start tracking time. So if you want to start tracking time, you absolutely can, right? You come in, start your day, start tracking time. You leave, finish action, boom, end tracking time. Done. Mic drop. So now we can see that this milestone is complete. So we have 3 statuses on our milestones: complete, in progress, and planned. And the reason I'm specifying this is because I want you to look at this top bar right here. So when I refresh the page, we're seeing our design milestone is green because it's been completed. Our build milestone is blue because it's in progress. And our deliver milestone is white, grayed out because it hasn't been started yet, right? Simple enough. So we just completed this milestone, and like I said, it shot out an invoice based on that milestone being complete. So what I've done again, because the billing cycle is a milestone. The billing cycle is on milestone. Whenever I complete a specific milestone, it'll shoot out an invoice of the amount I want to invoice attached to that milestone. All right. All right. So design is done, build is in progress, and deliver is not. So whenever, as a project manager, I want to dive into this a little bit more, I can see that Joel Parkinson is in progress, which is great. But then we can see that Kelly Slater is also planned. Let's say Joel reached out to me earlier, right? He should have made this a risk, but he didn't. Joel reached out to me earlier and said he needed some help with this build framework because he just didn't have the capacity to do 24 hours that is scheduled. He said, Ike, my name is Joel, I need help. I say, Joel, my name is Ike, I can help you. So what I'll do is whenever we look at this icon right here, and I'm hover over it. You can just hover over things to get an idea of what these things are if you're kind of confused or you're not really sure what that sign does. Resource assignment wizard, time log, checklist items, cool, manage issues. That's important. Manage issues, remember that. Anyways, when we click on this icon, resource assignment wizard, what's great here, let me sure I actually clicked it, yeah. What's great here is that this is how you can assign work, reassign work, or even help somebody else. So whenever I was looking at this specific action, build framework action, it said, all right, Joel Parkinson is actually the action owner of it right now. So Joel is the action owner of this action right now. I can see he's in the developer team. So it's already put into logic that, hey, if you need somebody to help you out here with this action or reassign this work, it's going to pull from the team of developers. So it's going to look at the original action owner and say, hey, we're going to pull somebody from that team. Perfect. If I want to, I can even define the skills that I want them to be able to do and how good they are at that certain skill. But I'm aware that Joel can still work this action. He just needs some help, right? So I'll just search for the team of developers. And what this is doing for me right away is it's giving me the availability of all the individuals within the developer team. So we see that the start date for this action is on the February 27th and the end date is March 1st. So what it's doing automatically is it's looking at the schedule of all the developers from March 27th, or that week of March 27th that ends on February, sorry, good God, I'm so sorry. It's looking at the week of February 27th and ending at March 1st. So I can see the availability of everybody here. So it looks like Joel said he needed some assistance, which is all right. I heard you, Joel, but it looks like your calendar is pretty free to do this job. I won't say nothing though. I won't say anything. So Jordy, I can say I want Jordy and Kai Lenny to help Joel Parkinson here. So I'll go ahead and add them as contributors and then watch this. As his 24 hours is already there, whenever I schedule some time for Jordy, 6 hours, and I schedule 6 hours for Kai, it's now broken down from 12. So now Joel is responsible for the overall action still, because he's still the action owner, but he has help. 6 hours of work from Jordy and 6 hours of work for Kai Lenny, and they will be notified on the back end that they've been assigned to an action. So lovely, lovely. What we're able to do now that we added some help and contributors for this action, if I hover over this new icon, we can see who the contributors are. Jordy Smith and Kai Lenny are helping Joel Parkinson here, which is great. So at any point he wanted to log time, Joel, Jordy, or Kai, they can do it like they do, like Lane did earlier, by coming in here and logging time for that action, which is great. Any questions? I'm not going to pause because you can just type it. But any questions, let me know. I know I covered a good bit, but when we talk about making sure we're streamlining the project plan, it's quite simply this: looking at the graphs, understanding what's been completed, what's overdue, and what overdue checklist items you have. And then now we're seeing, all right, we have our milestones, we have our actions, who the action owner is. And if we want to add a level down, we can add checklist items here. So that way the individual, the action owner, knows exactly what specific task to accomplish before he marks his action as complete and tries to log time against it. All right. One thing I like to see here, though, is I opened up this build milestone earlier. We helped out Joel Parkinson adding contributors, but if I hover over this glowing yellow icon, what does that say to me as a project manager? It says manage issues. So earlier when I look at the insights tab, I saw that there was 2 risks and I saw that there was 2 issues. I can see right away that there's an issue pertaining to this specific action called build page content because it says there's a highlighted yellow pointy finger. And right away, when I click on it, I can see that, hey, Kelly Slater logged this issue. It's pertaining to that build page content action, and it's actually a bug. Oh God, we got a bug. Oh my goodness, I hate bugs. So something to note, we can choose to include this issue into our weekly status report or exclude it from our client page. So it's your choice. If this is an internal risk that you don't, or an internal issue that you don't want your partners to see and you don't want the clients to see, you can choose how you like the viewability of it for them. I'm going to make sure that I do include it in the weekly status report, and I'm not going to exclude it from the client page. So it looks like this bug is going to actually move the project back a couple of days, which sucks, but at least we know. And again, we're able to see all this information from the project plan right away, just from the project plan. Okay. So the project overview, we're able to see a lot of good information that helps us out with our overall project. And I know that for this build page content, we're going to put that on hold because we have an issue there. All right. Some things that you're not seeing, and I'm not going to have enough time to showcase today, but I want you to make sure that you're very aware of it, is one, if you ever want to just create milestones, create actions right on the fly, you absolutely can. I can create an action right away if I wanted to. I'll do if I have time. I'll do right now, actually. Why not? Probably should have done that. But hey, so we have our milestone. I can add a row, say, hey, milestone, let's do deliver. And I'll say deliver test. Let's do 4 hours. And we're going to start on March 19th. Search roles. I can search roles here, or I can utilize the resource assignment wizard to, again, assign tasks to individuals. And I'll go ahead and assign it. Oh, I think I'll assign it to me. Yeah, I like that. No, I won't. I'll assign it to somebody else. Let's say search. And I'll make sure Alana does it instead of me. Save. And right away, we have now created an action. So let's say save. So it's that easy to create an action. The reason I wanted to showcase that specifically is that's how you create a project. So whenever you create a project, hit a new project, you say create milestones, design, build, deliver, and then create actions right afterwards. Next to it, you can see my auto assignment wizard. Yes, you can automatically assign individuals to a task. I won't show it right now, just know it's possible. If you're interested, email me. I will show you how to do it. It is pretty awesome. It's a new feature on our release that our CEO and his best mate heard a lot from customers that they wanted, and we've added an auto assignment wizard. All right. So to go over this the project some more, we have our project details, all the details that we need to see regarding the project. Live in the detail pane. We have the time logs here for the specific project. So whenever they log time, we're seeing that, and you can see that Lane logged some time earlier. And again, if you want time logs to go through the approval process, you absolutely can. And now we have what we call our risk and issue log. So as a project manager, I saw that this project had 2 risks and 2 issues. So we have one that was that bug on component, which is very high and very high rating. The reason I want to spend some time here is because the way we structured it within Mission Control, again, if you don't like this, turn it off, change it, right? So we have 2 things. We call it a risk and an issue. The way I like to think about it is a risk is maybe this might affect the project. I don't know. An issue is this is definitely going to affect the project, right? So if it's a risk, you're like, all right, the risk is something might not come. The component might not come. I don't know yet. It may be not. It may be not. Might not come. An issue is getting validation that, oh yeah, this component is going to be late. I know for a fact it's going to be late. So if you want to leverage it, the reason I like to leverage risk and issues is because it's giving that level of information across the whole team, because you want them to be alerted of something before it becomes something that will really affect the project, right? So if I think, oh, I might not be able to make it on this shift, that's a risk. A couple days later, I'm like, oh, I will definitely not be able to make it. That's an issue, right? So it goes from risk, you promote that risk. If you promote it, it becomes an issue, right? So we have 2 risks. One is a system test. I'm not worried about that. I actually covered it earlier, so I fixed that. But we have this risk bug on component. That may sound familiar to you, because what happened was this bug on component actually got promoted to an issue. And that's what Kelly said earlier. So right here, we can promote the risk to an issue. So if we look at that risk, we can see the issue log and see that that same risk became an issue, bug on component, right? Logged by Kelly Slater. All right. There's some information for you there. But what's great here is, and what I like to leverage whenever I talk about the risk issue log, is this trackpad to our right. Because not only is this trackpad giving you information regarding this whole project, the timeline, the feed, anything that's going on with this project, you can look at the trackpad here. And if you want to post some information, you can upload a file, a link, or a poll, and attach this to this specific project, the webinar website build project. Absolutely can from here, from a trackpad, again, leveraging Chatter. So whenever we talk about timeline, we can do that as well. And we can log time, add action, add risk and issues, again, from the trackpad. So like I mentioned, there's multiple different places to do many things: add actions, risk, issues, expenses, logging time. There is. You can see at the very bottom here as well. You can do it from there. But I want to open up this feed specifically because we talked to Jordy about availability, or Joel Parkinson about availability. And I'm going to make sure I loop in Jordy as well as Kai. At Joel, thanks for letting me know about your availability. I've assigned at Jordy and at Kai. I kind of need some help. See, so we talk about collaboration. The reason I like to include everything within the chatter is because it's historical and searchable. So at any point you want to come back and say, hey, what happened here? It's within the database, so you'll understand what's going on. All right. So issue log, we saw the billing. We're going to send that invoice actually right now. So whenever we want to send an invoice, right, we got the billing event that's been created off that completed milestone that we saw earlier. So now I've got all the information I need to here. I can go ahead and update the PDF, or I can view the PDF URL from here. And then right away, we're seeing that invoice that we're going to be sending out to the customer based off the template that we have defined. Wait, yes, sorry. We're going to see an invoice based on the milestone that we've completed, right? So we said the design milestone has been complete. I want to shoot out an invoice for $5,000, which was the invoice amount that I had attached to that milestone whenever it's completed. Here's the contact. And then if you want to have a URL or you want to have your own little image, you absolutely can. But this is how we're able to shoot out an invoice from the billing events page panel right here. So again, the billing event was created off a completed milestone. And then once we tap in here, we have a PDF that we can send out to the customer about our invoice. All right, cool. All right. So do you integrate to Microsoft Dynamics? Okay, from Jessica Agosto. I think I said your name wrong, and I apologize. But do you integrate to Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains for invoicing and for a time and materials project? Can you include time logs? So to the second question, second part of that question, yes. First part of the question, I will simply say this. If Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains integrates within Salesforce, it integrates within Mission Control. Point blank. All right, so let's go ahead and touch on whiteboard just real simply or real quickly because I want you to see that we're able to do there. But also because we have a time check, I got 12 minutes left here. I've been talking your head off, so thank you for letting me do that. Sorry. All right, so whenever we work on the whiteboard, I know that people love this methodology here. We're seeing our milestones, design, build, and deliver, and we're seeing what is actually being, the information that it holds here. Where we're seeing, all right, our design milestone, 100% complete. Here's the action owner, and he has some collaborators, no issues, and things of that nature. But what we're able to do is we're able to filter it down very extensively, and you're going to see this filter throughout the whole system, whether it be projects, type of milestones, project owners, action owners. You're going to see this filtering capability throughout the system, and it's very prevalent. All right. So column heading, I'll go ahead and say we can do it by action owner. Action type, no value, I'm sorry. Priority, no value, as well as statuses. So this might be the better way to do it. So earlier we saw that Kelly Slater had an issue, and we can see real quickly again by this graphic, this image right here, this icon, and she said this is going to delay the project some. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll put this on hold, right? So build framework is complete because you got some help, but we still have an on hold task here. All right. And then, of course, if you want to change it up, I'll just keep it as status here. So again, with the whiteboard, we're able to change the statuses, get a great idea of what's going on, when it's going on, what's affecting the project. And if at any point we want to switch some individuals out, we're able to filter down on a specific team and roles like we saw earlier. So I want to filter down on, let's say, the dev team or designer team. And then if at any point I'm like, hey, I just want to reassign some individuals, I can drag and drop. That's one way to do it. I won't show you all the ways, but that's one way to do it. So that is the whiteboard at a glance. Again, we have a planned 3 actions, and then we see that 19 hours are remaining on these planned actions. 16 hours are on hold for this one action, etc. So there's a lot of information being shown from the whiteboard. But let's move to my favorite, our Gantt chart. So within the Gantt chart, we're able to do a lot of information or do a lot of things that is very important here. So one thing to note, within the control pad, I've added some custom columns that says, hey, how many hours have been completed on this project, milestone, or action? It's going to be to the left. And how many hours are remaining on the project, milestone, or action, which is on the right here. So we can see there's 43 hours left in the project, or 43 hours completed in the project. And we can see that that first milestone has been all the way complete, nothing remaining. But we can see that the last 2 milestones have 0, 0 completed, and 16, 19 hours remaining on each one. And if we drill down even more, it's going to show me at the action level here, which is great. From the graph here, we're able to show the progress we made on the Gantt chart through a visual, but also saying right here how much progress been made, as well as the milestone level here. What's important within the Gantt chart is creating these dependencies that we can offer here, because we know that we're not allowed to move from this step to the next step until we get some things fixed up here, right? So at any point, I'm like, all right, we need to move this build page content. The issue that Kelly Slater raised, saying that we don't have time and it's going to cause a delay with the build page content action, we're going to move it to the right a little bit. I said a little bit, this is a lot. And now everything is going to move accordingly with it. So we've created that critical path dependencies amongst these actions. And if you want to export is to a JSON. Oh, sorry, let me save first. And if you want to export it, you can export it via PNG, CSV, PDF, or JSON. And someone asked me earlier, Microsoft? Yes. So you can go ahead and import and export. Let me go ahead and do that. So if you want to export it to an XML MS project, you absolutely can, or export it via JSON, you can. And this is another way for you to give some information to some stakeholders. This is very like, but it's a great way to do that. And I won't dive too much into the Gantt chart and all of it, but what I will say, you're able to do a lot from the Gantt chart, whether you want to add milestones and actions or checklist items from the Gantt chart. You can also delete an action, and you can even edit a milestone or action here as well. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like to edit an action. So once you do that, right, you're able to see the action details, all the action information, even reassign the work from the Gantt chart view, log time, or you can, log time, record detail, and chatter as well. So you're able to do all this from the Gantt chart. All right. Whew. So for Ike, I will say that is done as a project manager. I'll go ahead and show you guys what the project status report looks like. So that way we get an idea of what can be sent for free to a customer. Again, a weekly project status report. So this is our weekly project status report. It's going to give you some information here regarding how much the project completed, how many tasks has been completed. And if you want to showcase the hourly rates and financials, you can. But also I can include issues and risk inside of this project summary. I chose not to do that, but I can. And we're seeing who's the owner, start and end date, and what's on hold, what's been completed, and all that good stuff here. So we can shoot out a project status report. So that is it for Ike and Medosi. I will real quickly go to Alana, the manager, because even though she has a lot to do, she ain't gonna talk as much as Ike. So from Alana, when I mentioned that, hey, Ike is going to look at a standalone specific project he did. For Alana, she wants to see all of her projects. So from here, she's seeing the Gantt charts for every single project that she has within the organization, whether it's complete or not. And she can get an idea of what's going on and what needs some assistance and needs some help, as well as leveraging those custom columns I've added from the control pad to get an idea of how many hours have been completed on a project and how many hours are remaining on a project. One thing that's great here from a Gantt chart capability, looking at all the Gantt charts, is if you want to, and if you would like, you can create what's known as a cross-project dependency from the Gantt chart. So if you're like backlogged or you have a lot of information, a lot of projects running at once, and you don't want to start on one project until you finish the first one, absolutely, you can create cross-project dependencies. Or if it's a case where you're doing multiple projects for one company, you can roll that up to a program, combine multiple projects into a program, and then create cross-project dependencies so that way you understand that we need to complete this project first before we move on to the next. And something to note, those individuals that have the dependency form, so the action owner of the first action and the action owner of the second action, and if you create that dependency, you can create a notification for both action owners, right? So action owner 2 is going to be like, all right, they're going to get a notification that says, hey, the previous action has now been completed. It is your time to go, action owner number 2. So you can create cross-party dependencies and then create those notifications so that way those individuals know at all times that it's their time to shine, it's their time to move, right? So again, a lot of filtering capabilities here. If you need to filter by project owner, action owner, and things of that nature, you absolutely can. But I think we've seen what we need to see from the Gantt chart view. Let's move on to my second favorite. We're almost done, guys. We got 4 minutes left on this hour. If you have a hard stop, I'm sorry. If you don't, I'm talking. Right? So from the scheduler, this completes a multitude of things from my experience, right? Not only are you able to see all your individuals here, you're able to see how many hours they're going to work in that span of time that you have allotted. So right here, I have a 2-week span. So in this 2-week span, I see that I get scheduled for 5 hours out of a total 80 hours he could work. And at any point, if I want to move some things around or give him some extra time to do something, so instead of it taking 1 day, or 2 days, I wanted to take 3 days, right? So we can go ahead and stretch some things out as we need to, or condense it as we want to, right? But what's great here for Alana especially is it's not only showing the schedule of individuals, it's showing the workload of those folks that have some hours remaining on a task. So as we see here, this task is now stretched over 5 days. We can see how many hours it's going to take here. has been allotted for that task for each day, right? So I can see 1.7 hours, 1.7 hours, again, for this specific task. So it's showing 1 hours to the schedule for just the company, but also if at any time, let's say Kelly had this at the placeholder role, right? I can see, all right, that this action is 16 hours and it's going to take 8 hours each day, and you can see how that changes. So 16 hours if it's in one day, 8 hours if it's on each day, right? But let's say this is on a placeholder administrative assistant. I can quite literally, let me not do placeholders. Let me do placeholder designer. I like that better. What I can do on my end as Kelly, I can go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to use our extensive filtering capabilities here. And I want to pull in a certain team, right? So I can look at projects, project status, action owners, and all that good stuff. But I want to pull in, let's say designers, and let's pull in developers as well. What's good here is through the extensive filtering capabilities, which is going to be shown in a plethora of places, I can see not only the team of the developers and designers, see their workload, but if I have anything on the placeholder side of things, I can say, hey, I would like to move this to a designer that has availability. Right? Perfect, right? Because not only are you seeing, hey, who has availability, who doesn't, you're now resourcing as you need to. So we're assigning things to placeholders, and once we see the schedule of the individuals, then we can assign them work, and then we can even look at a month view of things as well. So when we talk about resourcing and we talk about that accurate scheduling, we're able to do that again within the scheduler here. All right. And last but not least, let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Let's look at our dashboard. So mission control comes with some out-of-the-box dashboard functionality. Again, Salesforce adds customization. Mission control is adding project management information. We're pushing this into Salesforce so you can customize your data and dashboards however you see fit. So these are some things that came out of the box. I have not touched any of these things at all. Maybe this one because it's colored. But again, projects by status, actions, hours remaining by status, and top 10 projects of hours remaining. All that good information is going to be shown out of the box with mission control. But what I will say is because we're providing project management data and project management information, you're able to customize that information, those reports and those dashboards to your liking, what makes sense for your business, and you can go crazy with it. This is out of the box showing you a little bit of a breadth of the system, but if you really want to leverage mission control and really want to get those reports and dashboards nice and tight, go ahead and use the data that mission control is pulling into Salesforce and create a very custom, nice, spun out, graphical, wonderful, beautiful report and dashboard from it, and then assign it to your homepage. Marvelous, right? So with that being said, I know it's 12 o'clock. Give me 2 minutes, maybe 3, and I'll just close it out because we're done with the demonstration. Brain fart right there. Good God. All right. So from Mike and Mendoza, we went from create a project to generating an invoice. And then from Alana's side, we went from viewing multiple projects to seeing the team's dashboards. So the process that we are giving you, you're in the webinar right now. Thank you. Thank you. But if you want to go through an evaluation for your specific and personal business, what we're going to do is going to understand your business at number 1, which is going to be like a discovery conversation. I'm going to ask some questions. You're going to show your system, and we're going to move to step number 2, which is a product evaluation. We're going to do a tailored solution demonstration. I'm going to do that, or someone else, but me. And then we're going to offer you a 14-day free trial. Please, 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 please do that trial, and then email me to get on the call with you to do a sample project call. So that way we're leveraging mission control to your capabilities and to what you need to do. Because like I said earlier, mission control does do a lot, and I have shown a good bit. But if you want to turn those things off and focus on what you need to focus on, call me. 3 is onboarding. We have a 90-day onboarding plan, implementation guide, and packages, as well as learning portal. We have 2 certifications that just, hey, if you understand mission control, if you want to understand mission control, do those certifications, because boy, oh boy, hey, You'll understand risk control after you do them certifications. I can tell you that. And then number 4, we have ongoing support. We do monthly campfires, first class support. Like I mentioned, we have a knowledge base, training articles, as well as periodic health checks. So that way we're making sure that you're good, leveraging mission control right. And like Salesforce, we do 3 major releases per year. Why mission control? We're native to Salesforce, work out of the box, no implementation required. But if you want some implementation, if you want some packages, we offer that. Of course, we offer that. We're a whole software company. Like I mentioned, we have learning portal certifications and global user support. Key impact on the very bottom, 6,000% return on investment, 32% increase in profit, 45% in overall efficiency. Whew, I told you earlier that mission control does a lot. I promise you, I did not even show you half the system. And this is what I mean about we can service a 5-person company all the way to thousands and thousands and thousands of people because we leverage so much information and we're able to utilize so much information here. It just depends on where you're at. And we in Mission Control will help turn some of those features off that you don't need to see. And like Vince, I believe you asked, hey, what is a tier? What is the pricing? What is licensing? You get all of this. All of this is yours. We just do 1 tier. That's Mission Control, baby. That's Mission Control. And Mission Control Lite, but Mission Control, right? So, if it's too much information, we'll help you turn it off. If it's not enough information, we'll help you unlock it, right? Here's some reviews. I said we're doing good, and I want you to make sure that you know I'm not lying. David F., my guy, I don't know him personally. I never talked to him a day in my life, but he said mission control is mission critical to our success, and I just resonate with that because hey, we're native to Salesforce. It's a robust management package or project management solution. And hey, they haven't scratched the surface, but they understand that it can do a lot. And just some use cases here. If you hear my cat, she likes to talk to me when I'm sitting in a chair for some reason. Brands are research and testing. The thing I like about this case study, they had a 30% increase in efficiency over the last 3 years. But what's important is that second piece. The real-time data has enabled each of our project managers to save 4 man days per month. They had 15 project managers. 15 times 4, quick math is 60. So 60 man days per month. Imagine what you can do with that time because they were able to modernize and consolidate all the various tools and simplify project administration. Cardinal Health, we're able to improve project visibility and accountability, improve reporting and customer-facing materials and communications, as well as create standardizations across our projects. I said our, but their projects. And there is a feature they use to the right there. We didn't touch on retrospective board or PMO dashboard. Just know it's there and it's great. So how can you trial? App Exchange. Yeah, just go to Salesforce App Exchange and then do the free 14-day free trial. A live demo is available at the bottom links and the support resources as well. So with that being said, we saw 3 people drop out, but the majority stayed. You are now Mission Control certified. I'm lying. No, you're not. But thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. If there's any remaining questions, please hit my line. If the questions are hard, please do not hit my line. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So Vincent Miles, thank you for your time. A lot to think about. Hey, if you need more to think about, just email me. We'll talk. But can you send any slides or can I find them somewhere? Yes, you can. You know what, Vincent? Oh, I'm just waiting for me to just grab your email from here. Is that way for me to grab your email? I'm going to send you this whole thing. Okay. Doesn't matter. Yes, there is a way to grab the webinar. It should be on our website, aprika.com. And you'll see a webinar page. So just go to aprika.com and you'll find all the information that you need to. And if you want some more information, just go ahead and hit up one of these links, inquiries at aprika.com or the support at aprika.com. I will be, hey, listen, Vincent, I'm gonna be frank with you. You have 2 first names. So I'm gonna know you. I'm gonna know who you are, right? I'm sorry if that's offensive. My friend's name is Miles Cleveland, so that's why I see you got 2 first names. Sorry, I don't want to step on any toes here. All right. With that being said, is there any more questions? Oh man, you're bold. You gave me the. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Let's go. I'm copying and pasting that one. All right, we're good. I got you, brother. Let me take a picture of it too. All right, I'm here. If there's any more questions, please let me know. If not, for the 5 people that's remaining, I will just sing some show tunes as an exit. Sorry, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that at all. All right, 2 left, and I'm just gonna say bye. All right, bye, everybody.